Hello, my name is Doma and welcome to Dimensions. So this is the first map. It is in veteran tier, according to the Doom Index, and I would say that is pretty accurate to what the difficulty is. It's honestly like, well, I was gonna say it's not too bad, but it's still very hard, like considering just a lot of it is RNG heavy, even if you take the right sort of strategies, like for example this beginning. You kind of just want to make sure you don't take too much damage. You want to save as many megaspheres as you can. You might have to eat a bunch, and you know, depending on how your second sort of half of the demo goes, then you might be fine, but most likely you won't, because archviles in this map are just a huge problem. So what you want to do is you want to press all the switches just as quickly as you can. Try not to grab the invuln. If you do, restart, because you're going to need it for after you've done this bit, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. I've pressed all the switches and I grab the invuln now, and what I want to do is I want to head to this side because the archviles are pretty easy to access. You just want to kill all of them. Reason being, you get a lot of space to maneuver around once you take care of those archviles, and you know, without it, I got zapped into the megasphere. That tends to happen quite a lot with this map. You'll get used to it, unfortunately. It is just one of those things. But as I was saying, it gives you a lot more space to move around, which you do kind of need. Whereas if you go for the other side, you do have the cliffs to hide around, but the Keka demons, they're just really hard to push through. And yeah, you're going to have a tough time. So I always go for that side first. And then by the time the invuln runs out, you're able to kind of just do circle strafes. The Revenants here, you can push through them because they'll most likely be infighting with the Cyber Demons. It's quite satisfying to actually do, so, you know, you may as well go for it. And basically that's it. You just kind of strafe around the arena, kill any archviles if you see them, and just push through, and everything will just kind of clean itself up. It's usually how it goes with this type of fight. It's pretty, like, slaughter heavy. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I've kind of shared the general strategy. Eventually you do want to push that side, but we're going to go around I think one more time. So in the meantime I'll kind of explain a few things that you might notice. For example, you know, the MIDI might have changed. In fact, it has changed. I just thought that, again, likewise with map 31, I feel like this is just a general trend with Dimensions, but it reuses a lot of the MIDIs. Well, not reuses, but it just overuses a lot of MIDIs that have already been overused, you know. Like, for example, Symphony X, like, so many maps use this kind of one, especially hell-themed, and I guess it is notorious for that, but whenever I think of this MIDI, I always think of, was it No Chance, and I decided, you know, I may as well go for a sort of prog metal gen kind of style, because it does fit this pretty well, actually. It's quite atmospheric, it's very just hardcore, I suppose. I don't really know how else to put it. But once you do that, yeah, you push through those archviles like I have, and then you want to hit the switch. I try and take out the cybers if I can, but there's no kind of worry in doing so. You get a lot of space anyway. I try and push through here. You will get zapped occasionally, but you just don't want to interact with the archviles unless you know you're feeling pretty brave. Then, you know, go for it. Those ones, they're pretty isolated. You could probably take care of them. I just didn't want to because I wanted to just kind of have infighting do the work for me. And that's kind of what you gotta learn is, especially with this map, infighting will do most of the work for you. You kind of don't have to rush into the crowds and BFG things. In fact, I would highly advise not doing that because you'll just get zapped to oblivion by like 12 archviles. Sometimes they can just lock onto you, especially if the trace is hit. So if, you know, a few archviles are isolated, definitely try and target them, but, you know, don't go for any that are sort of stuck in big crowds because there'll most likely be more surrounding them. Now, yeah, here's kind of just, you play very passively. You want to just move around, get everything to infight, which is what I'm trying to do. And, you know, if there's any isolated archviles like these, just make sure you get rid of them because, you know, they might be a threat later on. There will be a lot of archviles in the second phase, which is what we're kind of building up to now. And yeah, really that's it for this part. You just kind of want to move around, Grab Megaspheres just if you're really low on health. Here I go for this this hard jump. What I do is I SR 50 and most of the time it works, but sometimes it just doesn't, you know. But yeah, here again, just taking care of the Archviles because nothing's really surrounding it, and yeah, that's basically it. So I'm just gonna kind of move around a lot. I'll go around, do another lap, and you'll know when the sort of build up ends because a bunch of like a big group of Archviles will teleport on the side that I'm walking across now, and then all the Archviles that are just stationary at the start, they'll start moving around, which I believe is at this point sort of, oh, maybe not now, maybe just give it a few more seconds, it will eventually happen. It is going to be a lot of waiting, unfortunately. I could speed things up, but really, I feel like you should see the full demo for this. I do a sort of horseshoe style for a bit, for some reason, don't know why. Could have just fully gone, I guess I was a bit too scared to go through there, but I had a lot of time looking back. But now, okay, now should be the time where it happens. So, yep, you see here, a few, yeah, there's a big group of Archviles that spawned there. I just hit my mic, sorry. And what I do is I kind of just stick to this side because I know that the stationary Archviles are going to wake up any time, which they have now. And you are probably going to get zapped like a couple times. Like here, I got very unlucky. I had either 3 or 4, I think it was 3 Archviles zap me all at once, which was not ideal. It can happen though, and this is basically the second phase, so you'll get stuck in this cupboard, there's a lot of space, and what you want to do is just horseshoe maneuver, try and kill just as many revenants as you can, try and free up loads of space. You will get overwhelmed most of the time, and honestly don't panic. This bit is very much a coin flip, like you will be taking lots of Archvile zaps, lots of just stray rocket damage. You'll be taking lots of damage in general, but that's why you keep those Megaspheres there. That's why you don't really want to eat as many, because the second phase tends to be harder than the first one. Like, once you get out of the beginning, it's not really so much RNG, you just kind of got to keep track of everything. Whereas here, this is basically RNG, you're just hoping that there's not many stray projectiles or the Archviles that will target you. And yeah, here I get very low, I take the last Megasphere, and at this point I'm thinking of pushing out, because otherwise if I get overwhelmed then I'll just die. Do that. Conveniently I had a Megasphere right there, so I decided to take it, and yeah, this was a bit scary. I take a Cyber Rocket to the face, and I barely avoid an Archvile zap. Oh god, yeah. I have a lot of these sorts of moments in the demo, and I'm not really proud of them, but I guess a win is a win. Can't really complain about it. But yeah, this sort of second phase is really scary. It's definitely the hardest part of the entire demo, and yeah, at this point, once you're out of the crowd, it honestly should just be free from that point. Like, if you're good enough to be able to do the first part, then yeah, you should be gold for this. Like, just kill the Archviles slowly, and then focus on all the things in the middle. You don't have to go for all the crowds because, you know, rushing through those is really risky, and you'll be out of their sort of view to the point that they can't really target you. So you can just focus on the big crowd here, which is what I do as like a safe option. There will be a few Megaspheres that you probably haven't grabbed in the middle as well, so it's good to just kind of wear those all down. There's a lot of cyber demons, so just, yeah, be kind of wary. Here I push through the Archvile, well, not Archviles, the Kekos. I take a zap, and yeah, I'm just kind of wandering around the big circle, trying to strafe around and kill everything as I go. And yeah, here at this point, I'm just looking for health, because oh, that is interesting. I don't know why I did that. I probably just could have gone brown, but I guess I was scared of the Archvile zapping me again, which I think is fair enough. You know, I don't want to take too much damage at this stage because I'm already quite low, like I'm 57%. An Archvile zap could just instantly kill me, a Cyber Rocket could instantly kill me, and really those two are the only enemies right now. Like, there's a few Keka demons, but they'll just die in one BFG shot, so it really doesn't matter. And yeah, honestly, at this point, yeah, the second phase is just done, and you may be thinking, well, surely we're done. We're not really. There is one more bit afterwards, but it's not really too much of a threat. If you practice it enough, you should get very consistent with it. And you'll see, you know, once we get to the end of the demo. Maybe I'll explain it just before, but yeah, at this point it's pretty chill. Just sort of circle strafe, try not to get stuck. Very self-explanatory. And yeah, that's pretty much chill. Now we do have a few Archvile crowds, but with the one that I kind of avoided, I ran out of cells here, so I had to go back. Yeah, keep track of your ammo, especially with this map, because it's really easy to lose track and then, you know, just die instantly because you don't have anything to defend yourself with. So yeah, there's a big group of Archviles over there on that side, but I take care of this lone one first. Pretty sure the Cyber Demons die to infighting with the Gecko Demons, which is pretty good, so I don't have to worry about those. They can be quite troublesome, especially since, you know, they're sniping you from a distance. And yeah, here what I tend to do is go sort of this side, and you have a bit of a corner to hide around if they're not like all the way on the edge. So yeah, you should be fine here. Yep, you just kind of push through and that's it. So yeah, at this stage you're basically done with the map, except you have 14 Archviles in the closet, which is why basically when you get to 3807, that means you've done with everything in the arena. So now you have the Archvile rush, and honestly this is pretty easy. It's a tight corridor, not many Archviles, you can kind of just camp outside and spam BFG shots and you'll be fine. So here, yeah, do a few in the face and then I just go to the side, you know, typical sort of Italian map 10, Sunlust map 32 style BFG shots. I do take a bit of damage here, but you know, there's not many Archviles, so it shouldn't be too bad, and that's the map. Yeah, it was really fun. I do think quite a lot of it is a coin flip, but at the same time, I'm just really happy that I've done another Dimensions Max. So, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.